here we are back in another episode of The Wizard's Life. And today we have a guest, Alan. Lou, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you, Lou.
Wizard obviously is, well, you know, wizard. So, Alan, we brought Alan in because he had a great question. And the question we should all be asking is, Alan?
So, why is it important for anybody to want to become a wizard?
Wizard?
You haven't thought about this question?
Alan has, so I'm getting the bonus of Alan's question.
Well, Alan, like on the last Saturday of every month, we have this in Chicago. Alan, lives in Maryland. Alan flies in for this event. There's people that are local that don't attend. Like, what's up with that? Like, why does Alan fly in just to be with the wizard?
Because he has a question, which is?
Well, how do you become a wizard?
That's the question.
Well,
Wizard?
Well, first he asked, wasn't it something about becoming a wizard? Like, why do you want to become a wizard?
Why is it important for people to want to become a wizard?
Right, why?
I'm stumped. Lou?
So that they can have all knowledge as well?
Why would people want that?
Yeah, right. Why would they want that?
Because the more knowledge, the more power, the more influence, the more help to the rest of the world.
See, that's a bit of a problem, isn't it?
Ask him why.
Why, Alan? I was going to say, why wizards?
Do you really want people who are really stupid and lazy and greedy and thoughtless to have all that power? That could be a disaster.
Well, if they have that power, maybe that would be inspiring.
Could also be very destructive.
Give me an example. Like they're going to use it to hack systems or things like that?
No, I was just thinking that somebody looks at you the wrong way when you go into Starbucks, you vaporize them. Poof!
With the wizard kind of power.
Yeah. Or,
That's an interesting. I didn't think of that perspective.
Are you a wizard too?
Is he a wizard? Possibly.
No.
He's got the beard.
No, absolutely not.
If we give him the hat, maybe we'll see. Well, what do you think, wizard? Why would someone want to be a wizard? You are the wizard.
I am
Well,
the
why
wizard.
would somebody want to be like you? There's obviously, first of all, wizardesses. We've already talked about that because you have children wizards.
It's crazy.
And then lots of them, you said. And so they're kind of roaming around.
Do you ever have some stuff that you want to say to people?
Yeah, go ahead, say it.
Do you, Lou,
Yeah.
let me talk slower. Do you, Lou, ever have something that you want to say to somebody?
Yes.
Okay? But you're afraid to do it.
I'm married, yes. There are moments I'm afraid to say it, yes.
Okay. So, if you could get
For the betterment of my marriage. And probably society. Go ahead.
So, if you were the wizard,
Yeah.
like who can go ahead and say that they're smarter than the whole medical community?
Just a wizard gets
Just the wizard.
Yeah. And then you'd have to back it.
Okay. And that's not hard to do.
When you're the wizard.
I mean, yeah, like,
So back to Alan's question, why would you want to be a wizard?
because then you can say things that nobody else will say.
Well,
Like, you want to say things to your wife, but you won't say it, but if I said it, I can say it. Like, you can't tell me that you haven't thought that women are self-centered.
there's times, sure.
But everybody's self-centered.
That's true too.
Right.
At times.
Right. So that negates the whole thing. You don't think that women are more self-centered than men.
It depends on the moment, the situation. the
Right.
person.
Right. Now that's a strong man. Do you go to Harvest and act like men?
I have not.
Okay, because that will help you to be a real man.
Okay.
Like that helps.
Back to being a wizard though.
That's what I'm talking about.
Ah.
Like, people want to say things to their spouse, but they can't. They want to say things to their kids that they
So
can't. They want to say things to their pastor. They want to say all this stuff, but they can't. They're afraid.
So let's use that as an example. So what can a wizard say to his wife that, may I add you to this, I'll just use myself, that I wouldn't be able to say, where I say, you know what, it probably doesn't make sense to open my mouth in this situation. What would the wizard just impart his knowledge on? Like when he's talking to his, is it a wizardess? What's the
It's
word?
a wizardess.
Wizardess.
Yeah.
So what would you say to the wizardess that I wouldn't say to my wife?
Okay.
For example, the self-centered thing. Do you walk up to the wizardess and say, you're being very self-centered? Tell her right out.
No, she's brilliant.
Ah. So the wizardess wife doesn't have that problem.
No, because he's already done all the hard work. Like, she absolutely adores him.
Well, obviously. So, which is why you have so many wizard kids.
Right.
Right. All right, so back to the wizard, why you want to be a wizard.
Let me go ahead and share an example of my best friend. Again, we're not talking about my best friend.
Let's stay on this track.
This will help you.
Okay, help me.
So my best friend, you know, he has a lot of kids too.
Okay.
And his wife one day was complaining to him about how the 4 teenagers at the time didn't respect her. So have you ever had that where your wife says the kids don't respect your wife?
I have.
What did you say? Something
said-
different than my best friend.
Go ahead. Tell
What
me.
do you say?
I want to hear what the wizard would say.
You won't understand the wizard. Just go with his best friend.
Go ahead.
What would you say?
I would say you're probably right.
Okay, right. That's exactly. You'd seduce her, one of the 10 reasons. Okay? But my best friend, what he said, do you understand why they don't listen to you?
Ah, and that's which one of the 10 reasons for
Intention.
intention. So your intention was to help her.
Right. But to help her, it's like a doctor. Like, they're not totally stupid. Like, if they set the, bone straight, it's going to hurt, right?
Correct.
And so it's going to hurt. You got to hurt to heal.
Got it.
And so my best friend says, do you know why they don't disrespect you? Or why they don't respect you?
And
She's like, no. And it's like, because why do you think you're serving them so much? And she says, well, because I love them. And my best friend goes and says, no, it's not. It's because you're selfish.
how is that selfish that she's serving her?
It's selfless selfishness. She feels like she's a good mom.
Ah,
And she's creating entitled, enabled, little spoiled brats that, don't respect her.
got it. So when you pull away all of that, then you get respectful kids because they realize what you've done for them.
Right, they don't become entitled.
Perfect. So let's go back to Alan's question.
You're not following up on the story.
Go ahead, follow up on the story.
So when my best friend goes and says, yeah, you're not doing it because you love him, you're doing it for your own benefit. Like, how does his wife respond to him?
Tell us.
She's not happy.
However, I get the feeling there's a moral to this story that works out in the good, in the overall scheme of things.
So it's like, she gets very angry. And she's like, so you're working every single day? And it's selfish? You're not doing it because you love me and the kids? And my best friend cocks his head and says, yeah, there's a lot of truth to that.
Okay.
And then what does she do?
She does what?
She hugs him and says, oh, thank you so much for the truth. Thank you for being so open. No. She gets more angry with him.
Ah.
Because he's humble, she's not humble. And he's revealing that to her, so she gets really, really upset with him and gets really angry with him.
Now
And
what?
then she doesn't talk to him for some period of time.
Until
She wants something from him.
So back to the wizard on why you want to be a wizard.
You
Alex.
gotta finish the story.
Oh, let's finish the story.
So eventually she comes back around, and then I don't know, like 3 months later, they're talking in the living room, and this guy's an international speaker. The guy's brilliant. Like, if you ever get a chance to do business with him, I mean, he's so busy he probably won't, but if you do it. But he's talking, and so one of his favorite things to say is that you can't go ahead when somebody says you make me feel stupid. That's not the truth.
What is the truth?
You can only reveal stupidity. So has anybody ever said to you, I don't like you, Lou, because you make me feel so stupid?
Of course.
Really?
Sure.
I'm impressed.
Thanks.
So then what you do in the future, you go, oh, I'm so sorry. Actually, the truth is you can't make anybody feel stupid. All you can do is reveal it and then put a big smile on. And then you go ahead and walk away fairly quickly because it takes about 15 seconds for it to register in their brain that you just slammed them. Like,
Okay.
and so he's in the living room, and all of a sudden, his wife's talking to him, and he's not stupid. Like, she said something, and he looked at her, and she's like, I hate being around you because you make me feel so stupid. So he looks at her, and he's like, silence, intentional. And then she starts crying because she knows that's what he's thinking. Like, I can't make you feel stupid. All I can do is reveal your stupidity.
So back to Alan's, so I'm not wanting to feel stupid and being a wizard in training. So why would I want to be a wizard?
Because then you can do the things like my friend does. So his wife starts
Why do I
crying.
do things like the wizard?
You first have to go ahead and be like my friend. You can't, it's too big of a jump. It's way too big of a jump. It's way too big of a jump, Lou. So,
But can I take little baby steps?
that's
rather
what
than
he's trying to tell you.
A whole
Right.
jump, instead of trying to jump the canyon.
Right. And
How
so,
about just I
but you
start
got to
walking
understand
down?
that you got to go through pain to get to pleasure. You've got to go ahead and take 2 steps to take 3 steps forward. And so my best friend's wife starts crying.
All right.
And she's like crying, like totally broken. And she's like, I just wish I could be like you.
So now she's on the operating table and she's busted up. And what does the friend of yours say at that point?
Right. He's like, it's strange because they've been married for, I don't know, 25 years. And
Yeah.
it's like, she's never ever in 25 years ever said she wanted to be like him. So he's like, whoa, this is weird. She wants to be like me. And he's like, what do you mean? And she's like I get defensive about everything. You get defensive about nothing. I want to be like that. And all of a sudden my friend, like, his mind explodes. It's like, oh my gracious. And he's racing through all of this because he's like, I got a small moment to help her to change the way she thinks.
Or a video too. Go ahead.
Right, I wish it was there. I wish it was video. And she's like crying, and he's like, oh my gracious, I've got it! Like he had a wizard moment.
And
she's like, okay. And it's like, you know, do you know why you're so defensive? And she's like, tears, and she's like, no. And he's like, it's because you're so arrogant.
how did that fly?
Like she was so broken, she's like, she didn't defend us. She didn't get angry or upset.
Okay.
She's like, what do you mean? It's like, see, he said, honey, you want people to think of you in a certain way. And so what you do is nobody knows you besides me. Like even your kids don't know you. Like our kids, they don't even know you, he said. And he's like, you know, I'm an idiot, that's what he said. And I don't care if everybody knows that. And so you're arrogant. You want people to think a certain way. And so if you're not willing to do that with people that you're closest to, if you're not willing to go ahead and put the relationship at risk, to take the relationship to a new dimension, you're always going to be stuck. And so as a wizard, like your wife, Donna,
Yes.
okay, and your wife, Nancy, like you guys can't say things about your wives that, you know, that you'll get in trouble.
Big time.
And
But the wizard could. See, if you guys were wizards, you could say things about Nancy and Donna.
you could get a chance to crack into that. Okay.
See, that's why.
So back to Alan's original question. So to be, why would you want to be a wizard?
So I could speak the truth to people and help people.
There you go. Is that accurate, wizard?
Yeah,
So you could speak the truth and help people,
right,
but bring them through the pain
right,
for the game.
right.
That's a wrap.
I thought it was because of the cool costume.